Hi guys, it's Wendy from cinnamonsweetshoppe.com, and this week I'm going to do a video on what clean eating is. I'm not going to be baking in this video because I'm currently away on a cruise ship called the Quantum of the Seas. For many of you that know me, my full-time job is in the travel industry, and I have a conference on this ship this week. I know, hard life, right? And hopefully next week or within a few weeks, I'll have some video on my cruise and what this ship is. If you're not familiar with cruising, this is the Royal Caribbean's newest ship, and it's the first smart ship in the world. So stay tuned for that, and you'll see more about it when I come back. But for today, I wanted to go over what clean eating is. It's an expression that you'll hear used a lot in food. You'll notice a lot of my recipes, I use that word because some of my recipes are clean eating, some are not. So I kind of wanted to explain a little bit what it is because several people have asked me. Well, it's not a new concept, it's just a new term. And there really is no scientific explanation for what clean eating is because it's a made-up term. The medical community didn't make it up. Neither did the scientific community. I'm not sure where it came from. I do know there's a clean eating magazine. Clean eating is a matter of eating whole foods that are not chemically processed. So, as I said, it's not a new concept. People have been eating that since time began because, let's face it, hundreds of years ago, there was no processed food. It's not a vegan or vegetarian diet. A lot of the vegan and vegetarian diets are clean eating, but clean eating does allow meat and dairy, providing it has not been chemically processed. It's not a gluten-free diet. Oats and wheat, as long as they're whole foods, are okay with the clean eating system. It's also not the same thing as the paleo diet. And while the paleo diet is clean eating, that diet has much more restrictions than, say, the clean eating. It's not a low calorie, low carb, or low fat weight loss plan. Clean eating just means it's clean. So sugar is not clean. Processed white sugar is not a clean ingredient. However, unprocessed raw sugar is a clean ingredient, but also that sugar has the same amount of calories as the processed sugar. Same thing with maple syrup, honey, brown rice syrup. Those three are clean eating, but they're not low in calorie. So even with the clean eating diet, you still have to watch your calorie intake if you're trying to lose weight. Now there is a little bit of a benefit though with clean eating, especially of the sugars. They do have some nutrients in them. Some of it's very small. If there's a fiber, or if there's certain nutrients in the sugar, it makes you feel more satisfied, so you won't eat as much sugar. So in the end, it could aid in weight loss. But as I always say, all treats, including the healthy treats and clean eating treats, should be eaten in moderation in conjunction with a well-balanced diet. It's also not the latest diet trend because medical professionals have been telling people to eat clean foods, or as they called it, natural unprocessed foods, for years now. So it's really not the latest diet trend. It's something that's been around for years, and it will stay for years. If anything, you'll find more and more people eating clean. So why should you eat a clean diet? Well, every time you eat or drink something, you're either feeding or fighting a disease. And if you're eating something chemically processed, you're feeding it. If you're eating something that has not been processed, the nutrients are there, and that's going to help you fight the disease. And I always say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So where do you start to eat clean? Well, first thing is to read ingredients on all prepackaged foods. Certain things say they're all natural, but that doesn't mean they're clean eating. I've seen products labeled all natural that have sugar in it. But sugar is natural, but it's not if it's processed. So you want to read the ingredients. You would be surprised what kind of chemicals are in foods that you would think are all natural, but they're not. Another thing you want to do is try and allot time to make your own food. I know with busy lifestyles, it's very hard to do this. If you allow 1 day a week, you can make some food, a few hours. You can make a week's worth of food, freeze it, take it out during the week, pop it in the oven, and you have a clean food. The reason that's so important is you control what goes into your food. If you look at some of the baked goods, that even the ones I have on my blog, some of them may be over sweetened. Now I always do less sweeteners, and then I feel I can always add more. Try adding in less sugar. If you see a recipe that calls for a cup of sugar, try doing 3/4 of a cup of sugar, and I'm willing to bet it'll be sweet enough for you. And then try going lower than that. So always adjust the sugar to your taste, not so much what the recipe says. Organic foods, they're preferred because there are no chemical sprays put on them. However, they're not always affordable and they're not always easy to get. So if you can afford it and you can get it, just get what you're able to get. And that's really a big step. If you can't get organic foods, you can't afford it, eating clean is still a step in the right direction. I don't believe in going cold turkey when it comes to something like this. We're all allowed cheat days. We all crave it. Even I cheat, and that's why on my blog I do have recipes that are both clean eating and not clean eating. However, every time you substitute a clean meal for a not clean one, that's a start. And I always believe in gradually doing that. Gradually phase in the clean foods and phase out the unclean foods. And even now the paleo has the 80-20% rule. 80% follow the diet, 20% you can cheat. But even if it's a 50-50, that's 50% cleaner, that's 50% better for you. And it's a more healthier lifestyle. And get your kids involved, get your family involved on making these meals. So guys, I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on clean eating. If you eat a clean eating diet, how you started, any kind of ingredients or recipes that you may recommend, just comment below. And for more recipes, tips, tutorials, make sure you go to cinnamonsweetshoppe.com. And if you want to see more of these videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel.